I don't want to tell someone I scrapbook and their first thought is like, man, this person doesn't have any friends. Like, okay, I mean, it's true, but they don't need to know that. What's up, guys? My name is Elle, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is like, I'm not scripting this, but I have like a bullet list of things to say. So I'm sorry if I get a little, everywhere off track. Yeah. So I keep looking up scrapbooking and scrapbooking ideas, how to scrapbook, anything along the lines of those terms, right? And I just keep getting the same like things over and over again, and a lot of them are like, I don't know, 5-10-year-old videos. It's just not what I'm looking for, because I feel like a lot of the traditional scrapbook style has evolved around people documenting their families, their life with their kids, grandkids, anything like that. And I don't have kids, I don't have grandkids, I'm 20 years old, I'm 20. I don't want to tell someone I scrapbook and their first thought is like, man, this person doesn't have any friends. Like, okay, I mean, it's true, but they don't need to know that. They don't need to know. I really just want to, go into scrapbooking with a more experimental mindset, almost. Like, I think there are ways to elevate scrapbooking and be more creative, be more modern with scrapbooking, and also be able to scrapbook without having kids, without having like a big family that you're documenting big events for. I definitely think there are ways where you can scrapbook, for yourself and like for your personal life rather than for documenting, your family. So if that's something that has maybe ever stopped you from wanting to explore scrapbooking, then this is the video for you. So I'm here to say scrapbooking can be fun, scrapbooking can be creative and crazy, and in this video I'm going to give you all of the tips, all of the knowledge on how to stop scrapbooking like a granny, okay? This is not gonna be a hate video to the grannies. This is not a hate video to the scrapbooking grannies, okay? Oh gosh. Let's get into the video. First off, I just want to say I'm not going to get super deep into like materials, things like that. I will say though, you don't need to go out and buy every single creative memories, scrapbook tool, paper, scissor thing you can find. It's unnecessary. You don't need it. And also, on another note, you really don't need to get like a really nice, fancy looking scrapbook either. You can just start with any old plain notebook and just experiment. See if you even like scrapbooking before you spend a ton of money on supplies. I will say though, obviously, the bigger the paper space, the better, I guess, depending on what you're trying to do with the scrapbook. But yeah, there's just a little note on the whole materials side of things. Don't get too caught up in that, okay? Don't get too caught up. I don't know if you guys have seen already, but this is my Jack Skellington water cup. I don't know when I got this. Maybe last year, maybe the year before. I don't know, but it's very cute. I got it from Walmart. They probably don't even sell it anymore. But yeah, getting into the spooky vibes, Also, another side note, I want to show this thing that I painted at my sister's Halloween party thing the other day because I think it's so cute. You probably won't even be able to see, but there's like pumpkins and spiders and bats and little bones on it. And I love it. I'm so proud of it. Anyways, that's all. So I'm gonna have around like 5 tips to share. Okay, let's just get into the first tip that I have for you guys. So tip 1 is really more of a mindset almost. Like, it's something that will apply to almost any of these tips following, if that makes any sense. So the tip is going to be learn concepts and ideas from traditional scrapbooking methods and really any other type of journaling, creative journaling methods, junk journaling things out there. And take those methods and make new things out of it. So the whole idea is basically to use concepts you already know about and like elevate them and create them in your own way, if that makes sense. So like the more different elements and concepts that you can incorporate, the better almost. And so that kind of flows really nicely into my second tip, which is to be less orderly and clean and neat and organized in your layouts, in your scrapbooks. Like overlap things, use stickers, add layers, add textures, add different types of media into your layouts. Like I learned, I was watching a different YouTuber who was scrapbooking, and she was using like little fabric pieces as backgrounds in her scrapbook, and I'm like, man, I never thought of that. And so I actually tried it, and it turned out super cool. And so it's not even like, it's not just a paper, it's, you know, like an actual texture on your scrapbook, and it like really makes it like really cool. So yeah, there are just like so many things you can do besides, you know, one background paper and a few pictures. You know, like the ideas and like options of things you can do are like so endless. So my third tip is to experiment with different themes and different color schemes. And like honestly, say goodbye to those nasty like Christmas scrapbooking papers that have like this, like the really realistic Santas everywhere. Like I'm sorry, I can't stand those, in my opinion. Like, and I'm sure someone can take those things and make it not look old lady, but like, man, that's just like the staple of old lady scrapbooking to me. And again, another thing that I feel like looks very outdated most of the time is like floral patterns. But I think a lot of these things I'm really referring to is like the really super muted like colors in like the scrapbook papers. I feel like the brighter, more poppy colors usually make a page look a little bit more modern. Hey guys, Editing L here. Sorry for like the crazy hair. I just got back from a trip, but I just wanted to pop in and say that I don't think I really explained this point very well and what I actually was trying to say with it. And so I'm like watching it back and like, man, that is not what I meant at all. So I think what I really meant is like referring to the different scrapbook pages and backgrounds. You want to choose backgrounds and colors that actually are cohesive with the pictures you are putting on them. And because, for example, I see a lot of like specifically related to the Christmas themed ones that I was mentioning, you have these really dull pages in the back, but then your pictures are all bright, and then it's just not really matching, it's not cohesive. And so that's kind of what I'm referring to, is to make sure the pictures you're choosing, really like the color schemes and everything kind of all flow with the background papers you're choosing. So yeah. This tip, along with like the last tip, of course, is like experiment with things. I mean, like obviously there's never anything that is like, no, don't use this, okay? That's not what this is. You can do whatever you want, and I'm sure you can make it look amazing and nice and however you envision it in your mind, okay? What I'm saying is like, just in general, these things are what give me that vibe of like old-timey scrapbooking. And of course there are like, you know, the vintage vibe and things like that that are going on, and you know, those are definitely, you know, that's a vibe. I love that. Okay, my fourth tip is to create or think of the vibe, mood, feeling of the page you're trying to make before you even start making it. Now, my process is always, I'll find the pictures that I want to use, and then I will think of what things relate to the pictures, what sort of style and colors I want to use on this spread, and then go through like all my things, find all the papers that maybe I could use, find all the washi tapes, find all the stickers, and like the colors of pens I want to use, and like have that all out and like visible. Now these things, like, you're not even going to use all of these things, or maybe you're not even going to use half of these things that you get out, but it's really good to like experiment with different options of layouts, different options of like stickers, and you know, it's good to see everything you have right there so you aren't stuck in, you know, the repetitive mindset of doing the same thing over again. And maybe you even have something that would work great for your page, but you don't know that you have it because it was like deep down in your scrapbooking bag abyss, you know? But yeah, it really creates kind of a more natural inspiration of things that you can create with what you have, rather than just trying to emulate a picture on Pinterest. Or, you know, it really gives you the ability to do things your own way because you are seeing all of the options that you have, if that makes any sense at all. Tip number 5 is probably the most important tip in my mind when it comes to making your scrapbooks a little more modern, fun, less stereotypical, and that is including images of not just people and, you know, like group photos, stuff like that, but also including images of items, things, places, buildings, scenery, anything like that had to do with that moment. And, you know, when it comes down to it, like, you have to actually think about taking pictures of those things rather than just taking pictures of people as well. But in my opinion, it's really helpful when creating a whole setting rather than just like showing the people who are there. And it definitely helps create the mood of your page. And also, like, looking back on those pages where you include pictures of, you know, where you were and maybe what you ate on that day, I don't know, it gives a more holistic view of like the whole event rather than just, you know, what everyone looked like. And I mean, if that's what you want, to just see what everyone looked like, then obviously, you know, that's fine. Go ahead and do that. But I think it's really fun to also include other things about those moments. So yeah. Okay, so that's really all of the tips that I have. I also just kind of want to say, like, don't be afraid of messing up, making mistakes, and even just experimenting and trying new things. Like, that's the biggest part of this video, honestly, is just to have fun with it and like put your personality into it, really, honestly, is kind of what I'm saying, I guess. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoy, and if you're interested in more like scrapbooking, journaling content, I've got a few other videos on my channel. Go check them out somewhere. They will be linked. And yeah, there will also be more scrapbooking things in the future, I presume. So yeah, with that being said, like, subscribe, all the things. Bye!